Yo, what's good everybody? Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different with a Yeat styled vocal tutorial. If this is your first time here, my name is Goob, and this is my channel / studio, Goobster's Room, where we will be going over all things engineering and music production. So if that's something you may be interested in, feel free to subscribe to this channel and like this video. But without further ado, let's get started. So for this tutorial, I will be going over Yeat's latest album, To Alivë, and all the effects that were used all over that project. So the first thing I want to focus on here are the ad-libs. So usually with Yeat's ad-libs, there's a few effects. We have delays on there, we have pitch shift, micro shift for the stereo, you know, EQ, all that kind of stuff. But let's start with this ad-lib track down here, and then let me just play you the song a little bit just so you can get a vibe of the song without any dramatic effects applied to it.
I don't really say too much, I don't really get too fucks. Whole gang when we finna start being clutch. I got linens on my body, made my me can't get in stools. Bad bitch on me, she get sloppy with my dick, she go to war. Gas back, blow that, OG roll that, bitch I'm smoking out my balls. After all night geeking, rolling, fell asleep and woke up sore. Bitch up and down on my works.
Alright, cool. So that's the track. We can start with these ad-libs right here, down here. So ad-libs dupe 1. Yeat uses a lot of pitch shifting for his ad-libs. You can hear this on songs like Real 6, On the Line, Jump. Like on Real 6, you can hear the pitch. He has like a higher shift pitch, and it's kind of spread with the stereo information with the leads right there sitting in the middle. So if you have an ad-lib track, let me show you real quick how you can get those similar style ad-libs. So we have this ad-lib track right here. Let me solo this out for you so you guys can just listen to what it sounds like by itself.
I got mama, get in, ziggy, golden.
So there you go. All we have right now on it is a little bit of auto-tune, standard. So the first thing that you can do, it's not something that you have to think about too much. You can just load up any EQ and just roll out a little bit of the low end, so that way the low end from the lead vocals isn't disturbed by the low end of the ad-libs. These ad-libs don't really have too much low end, but it never hurts to cut it out just a little bit if you need to, if you hear that rumble. If there's absolutely no rumble, then you can go without it, but I like to just cut it a little bit just to make my mix a little bit tighter, because sometimes we may not hear it, but the information could still be there and still be throwing off the sub region of the song. So I'm gonna play this out. First thing we're gonna do is put on the filter with the EQ.
I got mama, get in, ziggy, golden.
And as far as the value for how high you want the filter to go, the low cut filter, it's all up to taste, but like I said, so you don't get like that boomy sub lows and sub regions within the voice for whatever reason. If you were recording without like a filter on, usually sometimes like when I record vocals over songs, I put a little low cut or high pass filter on my preamp to get that more finished sound. So that's the EQ, and then this is the juice, the bread and butter, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm doing it with plugins. I mean, I'm sure there's free alternatives, but usually you can find these plugins on sale. So for these, the majority of the plugins I'm going to be using is the Sound Toys. I know Black Friday, Sound Toys does a lot of sales, and throughout the year you can also catch some sales, but we're gonna start with this one, Little Altar Boy, and we can just do the mono instance. Okay, cool. So now that we have Little Altar Boy pulled up for Yeat, for all his ad-libs, he has a high pitch background noise, but it's also blended in with the main unprocessed signal. So for me to give you an example of that, let me just click this little link parameter, okay, because it's just pitched up for the Yeat specific style ad-libs. I found that the majority of it is fully pitched up. So this is what it sounds like, fully pitched up, fully wet, and fully processed. It sounds like a chipmunk, you know? So the mix right here is at 100%. Basically, the most simple way to do it is just turn down the wet, and then you get this sound.
I got mama, get in, ziggy, golden.
So what it's doing is it has still the pitch and the format applied to it, so it has the pitch shifting effect. So you just lower down the mix of the effect. And then what I also like to do is Yeat's vocals have a lot of character and saturation to them. So what I find that helps it stand out a little bit more in the mix is turning up this is why I like Little Altar Boy. I know Waves also has vocal bender. That one is very good too for the pitch, but you don't have this drive knob, and there's still ways of going around it and still getting the effect. You could put it on ascend, then put the pitch up, then put a saturation or a distortion plugin with the vocal shift. But just to keep it simple, we're using Altar Boy because it has everything that we need. So then I'm gonna play like this, and it's gonna get a little bit loud, but let me turn up the drive. The mix and the dry, I notice it varies from song to song. Sometimes this high pitch thing you may not even hear it, and it's really tucked into the mix. Sometimes it's very present as well. That's the first thing, and then the next thing we're gonna do right here is go to this micro shift. So we're gonna turn on this micro shift, boom, load up this bad boy. So not only are the ad-libs processed with the pitch effect, so right now they're just mono in the dead center, but when you listen to Yeat's songs, it's like you have the voice sitting right here and the ad-libs sitting right here, but then you also have the ad-libs, they're not in the center with the vocal, they're on the sides. So with microshift, we're able to get that effect to get it a little bit closer to Yeat's style and Yeat's sound. So if I play it just like this is what it sounds like. So as you can hear, it takes it from the middle and it pulls it to the sides, and it has like a kind of like a chorus flangery type effect. And then if you don't want it super stereo and you still want it to be a little bit in the middle with the information, you can just lower down the mix of the microshift. And then, like I said, everything's all up to taste, so let's unsolo that, and then let's go back to the main track and let's hear what that part is sounding like with the effects.
I got linens on my body, made my meat can't get in stores. Baby join me, she get sloppy with my dish, she go to war. Gas back, blow that, OG roll that, bitch, I'm smoking out my balls. After all night geeking, rolling, fell asleep and woke up slow. Bitch, up and down.
So that's with it on, and then let me just leave it without only just the auto tune.
I got linens on my body, made my meat can't get in stores. Baby.
And then with.
I got linens on my body, made my meat can't get in stores. Baby join me, she get sloppy.
That's one way of the ad-libs that he does, and he does that all over the project of To Alive. But then, so I'm gonna mute that real quick so we can hear these ad-libs right here under. Another thing that he does for the ad-libs too is sometimes he won't have that pitch effect, sometimes he'll only have the micro shift, so it'll sound stereo. So real quick, this is without the stereo micro shift. Okay, so those are those ad-libs. So those right now are in the dead center. Then once you turn on the micro shift, it takes that from the center and it spreads it to the sides, and it gives it like a cool chorusy sounding effect, which is used a lot in Yeat's style of vocals. So then we're gonna play that with everything.
Okay, you want me from the start being class? I got linens on my body, made my meat can't get in stores. Baby join me, she get sloppy with my dish, she go to war. Gas back, blow.
And for this, you do want to EQ it out. This is the EQ curve that I used, but let me just start it from scratch. If I just bypass that and then reopen an EQ, it can be as simple as just loading it up, changing the slope a little bit, and filtering out the lows.
Okay, you want me from the start being class? I got linens on my body, made my meat can't get in stores. Baby join me, she get sloppy with my dish, she go to war. Gas back, blow that, OG roll that, bitch, I'm smoking out my balls. After all night geeking, rolling, fell asleep and woke up sore. Bitch, up and down on my worst.
So there you go. So that's what it does. And then let me throw a delay on this channel. There's a lot of delays you could choose from, but for this example, we're gonna use Echo Boy. And so this is my third tip for the ad-libs. He uses a quarter delay a lot. So what we're gonna do is we have it at an eighth. So quick summary, I'm pretty sure most of you guys know the timing of the delays, but so this is what an eighth note sounds like. It's like faster. Okay, but Yeat uses a fourth quarter note delay. So with that, this is what it sounds like. So you hear that on songs like Jump, and you hear that on Outside with Yeat and Young Thug on the leads. So that's that. So you can combine the effects. You can have the micro shift and the delay, you know, and then you get this sound.
Okay, you want me from the stopping class? I got linens on my body, made by me, can't get in stores. Baby join me, she get sloppy when my dish she go to war. Gas back, blow that, OG roll that, bitch I'm smoking out my balls. After all night geeking, rolling, fell asleep and woke up sore. Bitch up and down on my worst, the car was.
So obviously you adjust that to taste. That's a pretty dramatic example of that. If I were to do this in one of my mixes, I would actually lower the mix down a little bit. If you have the Soundtoys plugins, quick tip, you can click anywhere on the names and you can see the number values of it if you need to. But I mean, you can just go off the sound. So that's that. So that's for the ad libs, and then I can just mute that real quick, and then we'll go over to the leads. So these are my lead vocal tracks. I'm gonna go over just the effects. You know, like we have basic EQ, compression, you know, just like a simple slight chain EQ, blah blah blah. So I have a send real quick. I have a send on the leads with a quarter note delay, like how we did in the ad libs, because he also uses quarter note delays on certain songs, and you can hear them louder or quieter depending on the song. But if I solo the vocals and just play with a quarter note delay,
I don't want to think too much, I don't want to think too much.
it's a little echo, you know. He does that a lot in many of his songs. And then what I also found is his vocals kind of distort or have like a little character and crunch to them, and it kind of helps his vocals stick out a little bit more in the mix. So back again, we have Soundtoys Decapitator. So this is the setting that I used. I drove it at like 6, you know, and then you can play with the styles and the brightness. I really like playing with the dark and the bright, but obviously it's driven pretty hard, but I have the mix tucked in. On certain songs, you just have to hear it, but it has kind of like a crunchy texture to it, like a gritty texture. So I'm gonna just play that for you with the song playing, so you can get an example of what it sounds like before and after. So this is With It On. I'll start With It On.
I don't want to think too much, I don't want to think too much, I don't really say too much, I don't really get too fucks. Whole gang want me from the start, been clutch. I don't want to think too much, I don't really say too much, I don't really get too fucks. Whole gang want me from the start, been clutch. I got linens on my body, made by me.
So that's With It On. So it sounds pretty solid, you know, and then I'm gonna turn it off, and then you kind of just lose a little bit of that forwardness, that crunch, and that character. So get us a glimpse of what that sounds like.
I don't want to think too much, I don't want to think too much, I don't really say too much, I don't really get too fucks. Whole gang want me from the start, been clutch.
So that's without it, and this is with it.
I don't want to think too much, I don't want to think too much, I don't really say too much, I don't really get too fucks. Whole gang want me from the start, been clutch. I don't want to think too much, I don't really say too much, I don't really get too fucks. Whole gang want me from the start, been clutch. I got linens on my.
And then let's just go back to the ad-libs with the effects that we put on the ad-libs.
Stop being clutch. I got linens on my body, made my me can't get in stores. Baby join me, she get sloppy when my dick she go to war. Gas back.
Alright, so let's do a quick mix, because to my ear I hear that the high pitchiness is a little bit too present for this, for my liking. So actually I want to make it more stereo.
I got linens on my body, made my me can't get in stores. Baby.
And then going back to the Altar Boy, I'm gonna turn down the mix because I feel like the high pitch vocal is a little too present, and I want it a little bit more tucked. So we're gonna lower that. So this is gonna be a little bit more subtle.
I got linens on my body, made by me can't get in stores. Baby join me, she get sloppy when my dick she go to war. Gas back, blow that, OG roll that, bitch I'm smoking out my balls. After all night geeking, rolling, fell asleep and woke up sore. Bitch up and down on my worst, the car.
And then these, we're gonna tuck them down a little bit because they're just a little bit too loud.
I got linens on my body, made my me can't get in stores. Baby join me, she get sloppy when my dick she go to war. Gas back, blow that, OG roll that, bitch I'm smoking out my balls. After all night geeking, rolling, fell asleep and woke up sore. Bitch up and down on my worst, the car was dealt, I'm making it work. On my.
So there you go. That's it for the Yeat Style vocals. If there's any other artist effects that you would like me to break down, please throw it down in the comments below and I can make a video just for you for it. If you want to find out what effects work best for your sound and your style, feel free to follow me on Instagram and send me a DM, and we could discuss on how we can level up the sound for your next project. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out these videos for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.